Free, down to 3, down to 2, it's a 3, good! Good! He got it! James Harden, a flamethrower! Incredible shot! Rockets by 1 with 1 second to go.
You beat us already twice? That ain't that good, man. Let's go. Bounce back from last game. Swag champs on 3, 1, 2, 3. Swag champs.
Throws it up top to Howard, back to Harden. Harden tied up, knocked loose, picked up, and the game is over. Golden State hangs on. Forces the turnover on the final play, and Harden obviously frustrated and upset.
The Houston Rockets, once a team filled with championship hopes and dreams, is now on the verge to be completely dismantled from the inside out. And how did we even get here? They have electrifying superstar James Harden, tenacious point guard Russell Westbrook, and they're surrounded by a crop of role players that are decent shooters from beyond the arc. But regardless of all the talented mix-up of teams, the reshuffling roster for the past 8 years just to accommodate James Harden, all of this has come to a halting end. And now the Rockets are looking at a full-on rebuild. But the main question that is on everybody's minds is what the heck happened? In my humble opinion, the first big reason is the team's makeup. For the past 8 years, Houston's reshuffled their roster time after time again to accommodate superstar James Harden in his quest to fulfill another championship to the city of Houston. With this reshuffling, it caused a magnitude of co-stars that come across the city. We had Dwight Howard one year, Chris Paul the next, and now we're stuck with Russell Westbrook. We also had Hall of Famer coach Kevin McHale coach James, and that relationship ended up sour. The year after that, Dwight Howard came. His back-to-the-basket style immediately did not fit with the city's offense, as he prefers the ball of his hands most of his time, as he was a ball-dominant center back with the Orlando Magic. But James wasn't having that. He still wanted to be the superstar, and him and his game did not mix. So unfortunately, he dipped off. And the years after that, they got CP3. Now, I feel like CP3 was Harden's best co-star during this time because it's known that whenever CP3 joins a team, he elevates them a certain type of way. In this case with Houston, facilitating. He's more of a leader that wants his teammates to move off ball, cut to the basket. And James Harden, he mostly wanted to embrace that isolation game. And he kept doing that with CP3, which frustrated him to the point that he demanded a trade the next year. CP3 dipped off to OKC, which left Harden with his most recent teammate today, Russell Westbrook. At first, when he joined up with Harden in Houston, I thought this matchup was going to work. They're both friends, both from South Cali, and they seem like they have great chemistry off the court, and they really cool with each other. Russ's ball-dominant attitude, along with James Harden, wanted to utilize the isolation game and have a lot of possessions built for himself. That match at the end of the day, it ended up not working out. And it was evident this year as well, especially in the bubble. When Houston came into the bubble, they had a great start. They were regarded as one of the best defensive teams in the bubble, even though they played a lot of lower level teams, but that's not the point. They showed great promise to make a deep run in the playoffs. And once the playoffs came around, what happened eventually happened.
Westbrook, oh, that's not on my watch. And then on the other end, pushes the basketball, puts his head down, get out of my way. That is back-to-back.
Wow, express yourself, LeBron. 35 years old, yeah, JaVale, we saw it too.
They ran up to the eventual champion, the Los Angeles Lakers, and they came up short. While James Harden, he did show off a really great performance, averaging 30 a game, and showed impressive defense down the stretch too during the playoffs, which I will give him credit for. But the main problem that always existed, well, it seemed like with every team that he's on, Russell Westbrook. He starts doing Russell Westbrook stuff. Cussing babies and wives out in the stands.
That wants to listen. What are you talking about? That's right, Russ.
And Austin Rivers.
And someone in the Laker group is talking to Russell Westbrook and waving goodbye to him.
Getting hype after scoring only 9 points. Getting in LeBron's face saying, "You cannot guard me." Only making him laugh. It's just the little things like that that broke this team apart. Russ did struggle with a quad injury, but the 2 games he came back after that, he dropped 14 points, in the next game 9, shooting terrible percentages from the field. And that did not help out Houston at all. Now with this offseason going on, him and James Harden has demanded a trade from the Houston Rockets. And And that's going to be an interesting develop to see because there were many trade packages going up for those two. And now Space City Scoop and ESPN 97.5's own Zach Allen is here to join me today as he gives his take on what the future of the Rockets could hold.
Hey, what's going on, Will, man? This is Zach Allen from 97.5 Houston. Hey, man, the best trade package for James Harden right now, the best idea for the Rockets is just to keep him here in Houston. Hold on to him because you tried two scenarios. Actually three. I mean, Boston was told to keep away from him because of the drama situation inside of the Houston locker room. And then you tried the Philadelphia Sixers, but the fact that the Rockets can get Ben Simmons and, of course, future draft picks, the Sixers were trying to come off. Of course, Morey was smarter than that, I guess. And then, of course, you tried Brooklyn, where Harden wanted to go. He demanded to go there. Tremendous. He was trying to go there. But it did not work out because Houston wanted so much, but we wanted a superstar. But the only way that would have worked was for a 3-team trade, including Kyrie Irving going to the Heat, and we getting Dinwiddie, LeVert, and of course other players, and according three future first-round draft picks. The Nets weren't going for it, and they gave up on it. But the best idea for Houston is to keep him here, build his trade stock up, and look into next season. But just convince him to stay because you got Christian Wood, which is big time for the Rockets, a big time big man that's great in pick and roll, great at creating out the shot. He's great in transition. Keep him here. Convince James that this is the year or the next 2 years for the Rockets to win a championship.
While Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia 76ers are becoming potential candidates, it's hard to realize the reality of how that deal is going to work. Because, mind you, those two teams are still competing for a championship today. So them trading up a lot of significant pieces would not be smart right now. Year after year, Houston has built up multiple great teams in order to compete for that one championship. However, there's always constant roadblocks that get in their way. The Lakers, the Golden State Warriors, or themselves. Regardless, any minor inconvenience that they have had has caused them to come up short of the ultimate goal. And now, after a certain point, especially in the NBA, if a star player does not do his job in a certain city after a couple years, max 10, it's time for a new rebuild. The fans are going to want to change. They want something different. They're tired of seeing the same old mess that comes on the court all the time, only to know what the outcome is. Christian Wood is a great addition. He's a great stretch forward that could fit into Houston's offense perfectly. But how is this going to help Harden stay? He just watched other teams just get better immensely. So he's watching his own team right now thinking this is it. However this saga goes for James Harden and the Houston Rockets, one thing is for certain, Harden is definitely in win now mode, and I feel like he really wants to change the narrative about him if he really wants to become one of the greatest shooting guards in the NBA. And to be that, you need that ring, in my humble opinion.